So do you know how many people have been revisited and re-interviewed?
It's all part of the investigative process.
So I can't get a number.
Because we are ongoing in this process and doing it as leads come in and as new information comes in, that number is not something we're concluding at this time.
Understand. Have you had a chance to do an exhaustive interview with the person who drove Kaylee and Maddie home from the food truck? Originally, it was an Uber driver, then it was a private party, and then I think it's a sorority ride program. But there was a driver, presumably, who heard a lot of things that were being said in the seats that were occupied by Kaylee and Maddie, may have heard a phone conversation. But have you done an exhaustive interview with that driver to find out what was said, and if so, was it valuable?
Rest assured, we're interviewing anyone in any way that could know what happened that night, provide us information to help with this case. No, that's just part of the ongoing efforts we're making. And again, we understand these questions, wanting to have answers, how hard it is for the families not to have them. But again, when we talk about these specifics, this information, we have to keep it safe. We have to make sure we're using the information for the integrity of the case to make an arrest and ultimately go to trial and get justice.
Sure. Understand. One of the former tenants in the home showed us a picture and also recounted that when he lived in the home as late as 2019, December 2019, exactly 3 years ago, he recounted that each of those rooms was rented separately, and thus each room had a keypad lock to enter. So it was almost like a communal living. Everybody would share the living room and the kitchen, but they effectively weren't, known to each other prior to perhaps renting the house. One of the pictures that we saw in the social media showed the room across from the kitchen did not appear to have that keypad lock. Do you know how many of those bedrooms had individual locks?
Of course, we've been hearing all about speculation and questions about locks and so many other things about this case. And really the best service we can provide to the public and to this investigation is really to remind people that all the information we have that is appropriate for release, we have done that on the website and our official Facebook page. So we really ask you to go back and look at all that information. So as you're hearing things, cross-check it with that to see what we have released. Because if
that has never been released, that's why I ask.
I'm sorry, say again?
That part has never been released. It's not on any press releases. It's never been addressed. And it's a curious piece of information, given that a prior tenant has testified to the press and has shown visual evidence that his downstairs bedroom door had one of those keypad locks. And he said every one of the tenants had one. So my question is just, did every single room still, 3 years later, have those keypad locks? And if not, which rooms did, which rooms didn't?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that's not information we're going into at this time. We're focusing on the information that's really critical for the investigation itself.
So I'll push a little further on that, fully respecting what you're saying, Robbie, and that is that Jeff Kernodle, Xana's dad, reportedly was at the home the weekend prior to the murders. Xana's mom, Kara, told us that he had worked on the lock just that weekend before. She was unclear if it was an outdoor lock or if it was an indoor lock, perhaps Xana's room. Are you aware of that information? And if so, how have you plumbed that piece of information with Mr. Kernodle?
Well, investigators, of course, are working with any information that comes in, information about the house itself. We also have
that
family
piece. Do they know about that piece? It happened on our air, which is why I find it's an important question. It wouldn't necessarily have been something that you were privy to unless you were watching that night, which is why I asked that question. Mrs. Northington, Kara's mom, said that Jeff Kernodle, Kara's dad, was there the prior weekend working on the lock. So I'm just curious if you knew of that information, and if so, have you been able to follow that vein?
Remember, we're not going into specifics or addressing these types of things because we have to have the information we have and keep that close, because we don't want to put out something that could jeopardize this investigation. We understand that people want all these specific answers, but that's not our main goal here. Our main goal is to have justice for these victims and the
understand.
families. And that's what we're focusing on.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.